So many people have asked me about different ways that they can pay off their debt, and I'm gonna tell you about one today that has helped me tremendously. It's called debt consolidation. I'm gonna go through all this with you. I'm gonna go through everything that you need to know. Let's dive in right now. What's up, everybody? I'm Ian Group from Ian Builds Wealth, and let me tell you why debt consolidation is important and something that I really want to help you with. It's important because when I graduated law school, I had about 12 different student loans. My head was absolutely spinning. I was trying to figure out my minimum payments every month, the payment date, the interest amount. It was mind-blowing. First thing I said to myself was, I need to somehow get this under control. And it took me a while to actually do this, because when I was first paying off my student loans, this was back in 2011 when there weren't a lot of options. But there are options out there for you now, and we're gonna talk all about it. So number one, what exactly is debt consolidation? It's basically just merging all of the existing debts that you have into one debt. So instead of having 12 different loans with 12 different amounts and interest rates and payment dates, you will only have one. And ideally, what this would do is also lower your rate. There are some options out there where if you consolidate bigger balances with them, they might even be able to give you a better rate out there. This all depends on a number of factors, which we're gonna discuss in this video. But first, you might be wondering, how do I know if debt consolidation is right for me? Well, just think about the things that I said. How many loans do you have? How many different interest rates and payment dates and balances are you tracking? If you're dealing with a lot and it feels overwhelming, debt consolidation is for you. But how do you actually consolidate your debt? Well, first of all, let's think about what it might take to qualify to get your debt consolidated. Now, the way to do this is to go to a lender, and they're going to look at a bunch of different factors, like your credit score. The higher the score you have, the better the chances are for you to get favorable consolidation terms. If you have a really low credit score, lenders just might deem you to be a little bit more risky, and that's okay. That happens to people. But you might want to consider trying to increase your credit score, which you can do by paying off some of your older debts, maybe catching up on some delinquent payments, and checking your credit report to see if there are any errors that might be actually lowering your credit score. I have a friend who actually told me that when he checked his credit report, he saw a loan that had been taken out in his name from someone that he didn't even know in a completely random place. This stuff happens, and if you check your credit report, you might find something that you didn't know, and you can contact the credit bureaus in order to try to dispute these things and get them off your credit report. Next, once you consider your credit score and maybe do some things to improve it, you're going to need to find a lender and just do a basic Google search. You'll see that there are options out there with companies like SoFi, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, Prosper. All of these offer different types of programs to help you consolidate debt. So once you find one of these lenders, they're gonna ask you for a lot of information. Let's go over some of the qualifications that they will look at in order to consider you for consolidation. Number one is proof of income. They need to make sure that you're making money. They need to see that it's coming in repeatedly. They're probably going to ask you for a couple months of your pay stubs. So you're gonna wanna have those prepared and ready to send over when you're actually applying for a loan. Number two is your credit history. They're going to do a credit check. They're going to look at your credit history, your score, your report, just to see how you've been performing on other debts in the past. Number three is financial stability. They're going to look at your ability to pay back their money. You're a risk, right? They're giving you money. If you were lending some of your friends money, wouldn't you want to know that they have a job, that they can actually pay you back? That's what these lenders are looking for. They're looking to see if you're creditworthy, if you have the means and the ability to pay it back. The last piece is equity, and this typically comes from larger loans. For example, if you're getting a home equity loan or something to consolidate your debt with, you might need to show that you actually have equity in a home or other assets in order to pay back larger loans. All right, so we talked a little bit about your credit history and your credit report. What actually happens to your credit score if you consolidate your debt? Well, consolidating everything into one loan and being able to pay that off successfully over time will likely raise your credit score. However, it is possible that in the short term, when you take out a consolidation loan, that you might see a dip in your credit score, and that's okay. As long as you stay consistent paying it back, you're gonna start to see improvements to your credit score. If debt consolidation sounds like it might be a good option, which I think it is, it helped me in the past, let's go over some of the things that debt consolidation will not help you with. Number one, it's not going to solve your financial problems on its own. Consolidating debt doesn't guarantee that you don't go back into debt again. You need to make sure you're building good habits. You need to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I talk about habits all the time, but make sure that you are budgeting and tracking expenses and doing all these things so that you don't get back into debt again. Number two, there might be upfront costs. You need to read the fine print and pay attention here. If you do wind up consolidating your debt, I did this for some credit card debt that I had many years ago, and there was a 3% fee in order to transfer my balance. So you need to make sure that you know what fees are applied here and be aware of those before you actually sign on the dotted line. Number three, you might pay a higher rate. Make sure to look at the average rate you have across all of your debts and compare that to the interest rate. If you do see a higher rate, you just have to make a decision. Is that higher rate more of a benefit to you than having all those other debts and payment dates and interest rates to manage? It's just a cost benefit analysis. So just compare them and see where you shake out. But you gotta be aware that there actually is a higher rate and you will be paying more interest in the long run. And the last disadvantage here is that missing payments could set you back even further. Remember, this is a consolidated amount. It's gonna be a bigger number. If you miss a payment, it's gonna be pretty substantial. So you really wanna be sure that you can meet these payments every single month. Okay, so if you're still with me on consolidation and wanna talk about how to actually do it, let's go through some of the steps for actually consolidating your debts. Number one, you need to find a lender. I had mentioned some before, but when you go out there, you do your Google search, you find a lender, you're probably gonna apply online. So go through that application process. And this is where your lender is going to ask you for various documents in order to approve you for a loan. They're gonna want your license, they're gonna want your pay stubs, they're gonna want bank statements. It's gonna be important for you to go online, download all of those things, and have them ready to go in order to go out there and see what your options are. After you've been approved, you're going to be asked to ultimately close your loan. You're gonna have to sign some documents in order to do all of this. Once that's done, two things are gonna happen. Number one, your new lender is going to give you that money. If they do give you that money, remember, you need to go and pay off all of your debts. Otherwise, you're gonna have double debts, right? That money's gotta be used for something. So make sure if you're consolidating and your new lender gives you that money, you've got to go out there and pay everything off. The second possibility is that your lender goes and pays off all of your creditors. All you want to do in this case is just make sure that they got paid their money. So you're going to call all of your old creditors, or you're just going to go online and check and make sure that those balances are zero and you only have one new debt to pay off now. So if you think consolidation is for you, go out there, check it out, see what the options are. Let me know in the comments. Would love to hear all about this. And if you have any questions, I'm an open book, happy to help you as much as possible. If you decide that consolidation is not for you, I actually have my debt tracker in the show notes. It has different methods for you to pay off your debt. You'll see snowball, avalanche, even custom methods. It's a fantastic way to see a plan for you to get out of debt. Go check it out, go watch the video on it. And if you're looking for other creative ways to build wealth, to pay off debt, to invest, go and sign up for my free email list, 5 tips every Monday, right in your inbox, and it's all for free. So go check it out. I'm Ian Group from Ian Builds Wealth, signing off. Make sure that the decisions that you make today are good and smart because you know what? They're gonna make you rich tomorrow. See ya.